and welcome back to the Hearthstone Gfinity Masters 1. I am Raven, and I'm joined by Maz.
Awesome. It's good to be here once again in the casting desk.
Yeah, so we've got the game of Firebat versus Naiman coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So what are your thoughts on this overall from the players? I mean, obviously, you know a lot about Firebat.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, maybe.
Yeah. I might be a bit biased too, but yeah.
That's fine.
But yeah, Firebat is bringing Face Hunter, Freeze Mage, and the Rogue or the Aura Rogue, of course. He actually makes a lot of spreadsheets and determined that these three decks have the best matchups overall if you just count every single relevant tournament deck.
Oh,
of
really?
course,
Okay.
because it's relevant tournament decks, you leave a Priest, right?
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah, and Naiman's taking his Hunter Paladin Warlock, which we've seen a little bit earlier. Are you confident that Firebat's matchup is going to do well versus these? Or?
Yeah, I mean, looking at both players' decks, you definitely prefer Firebat's lineup a bit more because I mean, Freeze Mage is so strong against Naiman's decks. Naiman is bringing a Paladin though, and it's one of the few Paladins we see in this tournament. We haven't seen a lot of Paladins.
No, I think there's a couple, but
yeah.
But yeah, what do you think about what would you lead with from Firebat's point of view here? What do you think's got the best chance to just grab a quick win?
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously you just want to win the first match and get momentum, right? It's kind of the thing with Conquest where you don't want to think too much about it. You just want to get the first win and then go on from there because it gets it's a bit more clear after the first game happens, right? So
yeah, definitely after the first game, yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's
you win or loss, you definitely have a much better idea as to what you're actually. Your game plan is going forward, whereas the first game's pretty much blind.
Yeah, I would probably go with Freeze Mage here. But if I'm Naiman, then it's a bit more tricky, I guess. I mean, all the matchups are kind of difficult for Naiman's point of view. So maybe just start with the Paladin.
Yeah, do you think there's anything that Naiman particularly wants to avoid?
The Freeze Mage. It's just really bad.
Completely.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess if you want to go with the deck that beats Freeze Mage the most, I guess it's Hunter, in a sense. But then Freeze Mage is pretty good against mid-range Hunter. So it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, I think Naiman's going to have to rely on quite a strong start and really sort of try and run away with the game to have a good chance versus that. But it's probably the best, I think.
Well, yeah, to be honest, I mean, against Freeze Mage, you just need the Lotheb. And then you pretty much seal the deal. So it's just drawing the one card out of your 30-card deck is very, very difficult.
Yeah, and we're actually just going to go into the game.
Awesome.
And see what the players have actually picked, see if we were even close to being right.
All right, well, Naiman does go with the Hunter, but Firebat's going to start with the Rogue. And this matchup is very determined on the first few turns.
Yeah, definitely. And I think looking at Firebat's hand, I think it's pretty okay. Probably going to throw away the Lotheb. And do you think he wants a bit more removal?
Yeah, going first for the Rogue is just pretty brutal. Like you don't really know too much what you're going to draw if you mulligan too much stuff. But I foresee him just keeping the 3-drop. But then Naiman over there, you have the bow. The bow is super important against the Rogue because all their creatures have 3 health, right?
Yeah, definitely. We see quite often the Farseer coming down quite early, turn 3, whether they've lost health or not, just to get that minion on board and try and start off with that damage. But like you say, the bow's pretty much just going to counter that.
Yeah. And I guess mulliganing all your cards is pretty good. You want to look for those backstabs and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely. See on Firebat's hand, it's double Sharp Sword Oil, Deadly Poison, and the Van Cleef. It's pretty janky for early on. I mean, the Deadly Poison is going to be okay to sort of keep control of the early aggression that the Hunter's going to put on the board, but everything else is a bit too slow, I think.
Yeah, not the best thing against the Creeper as well. That's going to be a little bit troublesome. But Ragnaros for Naiman's Hunter.
Yeah, I like that quite a lot, actually. I think something that Hunters struggles to deal with a little bit is they sort of burn out of cards due to pretty much a bit of a lack of a consistent draw mechanic depending on what style of deck they're playing. And the Ragnaros can actually finish the game up.
Oh, there's a backstab. That is actually an insane draw. He can actually clear off most of this Skittles, we call it, and drop a 4/4. Perfect.
Yeah, that's actually really good, and he's probably not particularly afraid of leaving a 1/1 up. I mean, I'm not sure whether actually Naiman actually runs Hunter's Mark or not, but this early in the game, it's really good start.
Yeah, but the 1/1's going to get killed by the bow.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a pretty easy bow turn here. But Firebat's hand looks really, really bad, so Naiman's in a very good position right now.
Yeah, what do you think Firebat actually has to draw to sort of pull back into this game?
Yeah, I mean, the Shredder would have been good for a start. Anything that just sticks on the board. Violet Teacher, Aragic for next turn, but not this turn. Just need something. And oh man, that's another deck card.
We're actually just going to see hero power, well, hit face hero power pass.
Yeah. There is an argument for setting up the deadly poison, but then you lose combo opportunities as well.
Yeah,
so
I suppose with the backstab though, we might be a little bit more confident with that, but he's just going to play that and pass. So, what has Naiman got? So, he's got the knife juggler and freezing trap in his hand, and nothing else too much. I mean, playing an animal companion on its own is a bit risky. I mean, if you get Leok, it's just a 2/4 on the board sitting alone, not too great.
Well, Leok is better than the pig.
Yeah, true. I mean,
much
Huffer just gets dealt with.
Yeah. So, I guess you just do that. There is an argument to just playing a trap and hero powering, but yeah, he's gonna do that.
Called
actually.
it, yeah, good job.
Yeah, it's just really awkward, right? Playing animal companion on the board like this. Oh my god, that's another dead one. Yeah, I mean, when you play rogue, you have to be quite skillful in, you know, drawing good cards.
Stuff.
Yeah, that's usually it. Oh wow, actually, Firebat's gonna set up a dagger here.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, there's only so long he can actually wait to draw a minion and try. I think he's got to just work with what he's got at the moment and just start to pressure. I mean, Naiman is actually only on 19 health at the moment, so, you know, he's getting a bit of the damage now.
Yeah, well, 6 damage to the face is a lot. Animal Companion's probably get a pig. Yep, there you go. It always gets the pig.
Always? I wish mine was always the pig.
No, sometimes you don't. No.
If most of the time.
If you think that most of the time you get Huffer, then you should play Aggro Hunter, like Face Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, oh, there we go. He gets the Shredder at last. He's probably going to...
it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean...
The only question is, does he want to clear both of these guys off?
Yeah, I mean, the only worry with that is he's going to run a little short on cards, and isn't he? I mean, he's got prep into Sharp Sword Oil again, which is okay, but he's almost certain this is a freezing trap, so the Shredder's just going to get bounced. Yeah,
pretty much what Firebat needs to draw right now is like a Sprint or Azure, like something that cantrips. And Naiman just needs to get to turn 8, really.
Yeah, definitely, and with the coin as well from Naiman, he can actually just, you know, pull the Ragnaros out on turn 7 if he really needs to.
Alright, Firebat's gonna choose to save the Eviscerate. That's actually fine because it is a race after all. And if you're not gonna, you know, guarantee the card draw, you just have to make something work.
Yep, and we do actually see a Houndmaster as well in Naiman's hand, so that could work quite well with the Huffer. Just really sort of, like I said, if he is going to race, he's going to push for the damage, put a taunt on the board at least, and you know, the 4/3 in itself isn't too bad either.
Yeah, I mean, silencing the Shredder is going to be amazing. It's just really, really good. He's going to choose to clean it off. And yeah, like you said, the Huffer's going to deal a lot of pressure here.
Oh! And there we go.
Wait, is that lethal? That's lethal, right?
Oh, with the Ves?
No,
is
I think that
is this to clear the Huffer and then I can't.
Not quite.
We've got just a huge Ves taking over the one thing we want to look at. Oh, okay, so.
Okay, not quite. Wow, that was a huge draw.
Yeah, definitely.
That was absolutely insane.
He literally had all the cards in hand he needed, and there we go. Yeah.
Okay.
That was a bit of a. That ended a bit suddenly, didn't it?
That was pretty surprising, I have to say. But I mean, like we analyzed, the Rogue is pretty good against the Hunter nowadays because it's just slower. You get more leeway of like getting plays.
Yeah, and with the Sharp Sword Oil coming in from GVG, they've really got you know, clears like that just changed the way. Previous to that, obviously we had Miracle Rogue that was played quite a lot, but it's slightly different style, but the ability to just clear a board quite easily and still do a lot of damage to face is huge.
It was funny because when the Tinker Sharp Sword Oil was spoiled, everybody thought it was too expensive. It was going to be bad. Yeah.
And then everyone realized that it's good on its own, and then preps a card.
Well, actually,
as well, so.
It took a long time for people to realize it was good. I think it took a month, something like that. People didn't play Rogue for the longest time. People were playing Paladins because then, you know, they were like, "Oh, Quartermaster is like the most busted card ever."
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
and now there's no Paladins anymore.
Yeah, the ladder was pretty much all Paladins at that point.
Yeah.
Quite early on, so. So Firebat's got his Mage and his Hunter left, and obviously Naiman's got everything. So do you think Firebat just goes into the Mage, or would you prefer now, like we discussed earlier about you have a bit more of an idea of what your game plan is? Would you want to fall back and maybe have to win 2 games straight with the Mage or the Hunter? I'm guessing he's probably going to lean towards the Mage.
To be honest, all of Firebat's matchups, they're really, really strong. They're just super good right now. I guess the freeze mage might be a problem against the paladin because not only do they run heals in Choose-Over and Anti-Heal, but they also have Loatheb, right? But all these other matchups look fine.
Yeah, like I say, I think the paladin would have to draw very well and have the exact
exactly.
answers
Yeah.
at the correct times to be able to pull the win out the bag there.
Well, it depends on what the paladin is, right? I actually missed the game where forced in play against Naiman. I was eating.
I think
so,
the paladin's like pretty much late game.
Late game?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, because
From what I recall, anyway.
Because there are 2 late games right now, right? There's a late game where you actually run like double Sky Golem and like Sneasel Shredder.
Yeah, I don't think it was that one.
No. So it's like more generic, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Just gonna wait to the player's just gonna get into the game in a minute, I think.
That one doesn't even win Quartermaster. It's very surprising.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's basically a hot form stick. Yeah.
Oh okay. So the games we're actually going into it. I'm actually just gonna switch the view round a little bit, and we're gonna be spectating Naiman now on the bottom.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
Hunter Mirror.
Yeah, it's actually mid hunter versus face hunter. So
yep.
It's all going to depend on the start for Firebat, I think.
It is. Face hunter, you need the 1-drop. Otherwise, you're behind immediately. Yeah.
And see, how much do you think it would be worth potentially keeping the freezing trap with looking at the cards he's got now, just to maybe try and slow the game down a little bit?
Yeah, you never keep freezing trap.
Really?
You never keep any traps, actually, when you're playing hunter. Like, no matter what style of hunter you do, you never keep the secrets because you don't want to pull it from mad scientists. And especially if you're playing face hunter, you really are looking for that 1-drop. And oh, actually, we got the. Oh yeah, I got the pistol switched around.
Yeah.
Damn it. Okay. So it's actually 5 for Firebat now because he can coin a 2-drop. So yeah, that's pretty good for him. I was wondering why there was a
freezing trap in
there. It's like Houndmaster. It's like what? It's a creeper. Creeper's fine, yeah.
So both players actually have reasonable early turns, and there's nothing probably too fast from Firebat there. But looking at Naiman's side, he's doing okay. He's got the Mad Scientist, the Creeper, and then Animal Companion Houndmaster, so he's got a pretty okay curve.
Yeah, Unleash the Hounds is also a pretty important card in this matchup. Not only to like summon a lot of things, but you also trigger the freezing trap.
Yeah, definitely. And also on the flip side of that, the Face Hunter runs a lot of 1-health creatures. So even to sort of reverse and actually be able to clear from Naiman's side if the board gets a bit too much.
So turn 2 here.
Probably making decisions as to whether he wants to just trade the scientists or not.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind the second scientist here. I was just thinking about that because we know the Firebat runs 1 copy of Snake Trap.
Yeah.
With 2 explosives, right? So yeah, and definitely go face here, because I mean your opponent's just gonna trade with you. They have to slow things down. You're the fast one, and oh wow,
Yep.
Misha is the best one.
Yeah, and especially I mean. What's good for Firebat at least is if both the scientists die, like you said, he's running a secondary trap. We see a lot of face hunters that are mainly just too explosive, but he will actually not really lose too much from throwing the other scientist in.
Right.
But what trap is it? Just a check
this
from Naiman?
Oh!
It's Snake Trap, okay.
Okay, and what's Firebat's trap? Because it's we do know it's
explosive.
Okay. Well then, that's actually quite interesting that it is a Snake Trap because Firebat does have the Unleash the Hounds, right? So
Yes.
if Firebat can actually trigger it with turn 5, that's gonna be pretty devastating.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with the juggler in hand as well, it's actually going to help him, which is really odd because again in this matchup with Naiman potentially pulling the snakes out, it's actually just more minions to try and keep control of the board and slow it down.
Right.
But then when you flip that, it actually works the other way. So
yep. Naiman's in a very awkward position now because if it's a snake trap, then he can't trade. And if it's a freezing trap, he can't hit. It's explosive, I mean, he can't really hit the face. I mean, you kind of want to hit the face because it is a race after all. If you're a hunter, you can't really win without doing the face. But now he has the Houndmaster afterwards to keep the Houndmaster out of the explosive range, and he lost on 2 damage.
yeah, so it will actually buff it up to a 6/4, which is still okay. I mean, you can see actually a kill command in Firebat's hand, so he might want to just do that to help push through with the minions a little bit. I'm not sure how much Firebat will have the information on what traps Naiman is running as well.
Yeah. Yeah, people get hungry. They want to eat food, and they miss out on some games. Yeah.
Quickly.
The problem with using the Houndmaster here on Misha is that you're kind of giving a taunt already, and you're already against Space Hunter. So, yeah, just gonna go with the trap plus creeper. and then give it a taunt afterwards.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that's probably the best play there, because again, it's just keeping the game slow for Naiman then, and not really letting Firebat to gain any momentum.
So now, Firebat knows it's definitely one freezing, one snake, because if you're a control hunter, like a mid-range one, you don't really run anything else.
Yeah, and it's actually going to set him up a really good turn there next for, again, the Unleash the Hounds as well, because he can just pop one of them with the Hound and just sort of flick it back to his hand, and he's probably pretty happy with that.
Yeah. It's probably going to freeze one of those and just pop the Snake Trap, and then summon the Love Hounds after the snakes are come in. He can also, like, you know, trigger more knives with the Creeper. So Naiman really needs to, like, establish more high health minions and whatnot. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Houndmaster came down here.
Yeah, I think the Houndmaster on the Creeper's really strong, so again, it's just another taunt on the board. Animal Companion, I just don't think it's going to be reliable enough.
Yeah. Huffer is just really bad in mid-range.
Yeah, why am I saying Animal Companion?
Yeah.
Huffer's not going to be reliable enough.
No.
He's already got one Misha, that's more than you can ask for.
I mean, if you do get Huffer, you get to push, what, 11 damage, and you drop Firebat down to 15. And then, if miraculously you get the Dr. Boom and you draw like 2 kill commands, you could steal something out. But
I think Naiman's in
that's pretty tricky.
Fairly okay position. I mean, normally, you know, turn 5 against the face hunters can be a lot quicker than this.
Yeah.
You're much more afraid in terms of health, and he does have the Savannah and the Boom to just follow up. The flexibility of the Animal Companion to depend on how the next turn goes.
Well, the thing is, like, it looks fine, but it's not going to be fine after this turn.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
From Naiman's point of view, it looked okay.
Yeah, it looks fine, but not after this one. So we are going to see 5 juggles from the Hounds. And yeah, they're just gonna fly everywhere, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, with the volume of Hounds as well. Other than maybe Face, if he wants to just play the board too much. There we go. Did I just do that? I think.
Yeah,
I wish I had power over my knife jugglers. They never worked.
Okay, that's a good target. I think Houndmaster could be lucky by it, but if too many knives hit that, then you kind of want to kill it as well too.
Yeah, I think throwing away 1 into Houndmaster now is definitely worth it.
Alright, here's 2 more. Yeah.
Houndmaster.
Okay.
Close.
Well, that's a full board clear if he wants to go for that, but
what trap has he actually got?
He did get Snake Trap.
I think
so. That's okay. It's I guess you have to.
I think you want to clear definitely, or at least make room for the snakes. Or is he just gonna?
Okay, with this play, he might be bluffing explosive, but interesting. Oh, okay. Well, it's who let the dogs out, I guess.
Definitely the most 1-1s I'll see on the board for a while.
Snake Trap was definitely not quite expected there. This Knife Juggler is gonna hit the face again. Wow. Okay. So. Now the problem is if you unleash and clear the board, then you don't establish, because you're using Unleash the Hounds for a Arcane Explosion. I guess you get an Animal Companion. So sure, go ahead and trade one of your snakes and Unleash the Hounds, and then play Animal Companion after you kill one more guy. I guess that's okay, but then at the same time, like, you're at 19, and the Face Hunter is gonna kill you soon. So you gotta do something soon.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a really difficult one, and he has gone with. I think this was the more reliable play. I think if he wanted to just drop high,
maybe Leok could go face. Oh my god! I was just like, maybe if you get Leok, you can go face. That's 12. How can you just not have 12 damage to the face right now? Are you tempted?
I think you just have to.
Yeah?
I think you just have to, definitely.
Okay.
It puts. It's a weird situation where it's going to put the Face Hunter on the back foot in terms of aggression, and you might not. Oh.
Okay.
Does that
wait. So Firebat has 9 damage right now, and 9 plus 5 is not 19.
No.
No,
doesn't quite add up.
No. So you can track him into Explosive Trap. That's one of the outs. Okay. We get to see the tracking on this screen. Right now we have 2 screens.
Yeah, this is.
And we're always using the wrong
confusing me.
screen. yeah, it's fine. Okay, so tracking into Explosive is one of the easier outs, but maybe you have you can find a better out. For example, if you think your opponent doesn't have a kill command or something, you could try and kill the Leok off, and then do something like that.
Yeah, I mean he's got the option.
Right. Because the thing is, if tracking misses, it's gonna be even more awkward.
Yeah, because it doesn't really make it great, because he'll be forced to more than likely hero power, which doesn't
Right.
Doesn't deal with the board at all.
So it's just yeah, it's just up to Firebat to decide what he thinks his opponent has and play around that. Because tracking the explosive is like the thing to do, right? But
Yeah,
of course,
I think you have to take the risk because if he pulls it, that's so strong.
no. Well, kill command is 5 damage for 3 mana. Eagle Horn is 3 mana and 6 damage over 2 turns. But of course, you have to deal with the board right now. You have to kill the Leok. So you pick the 1. You pick KC. Kill that off. You also want to set up for lethal next turn. Because you know this game is not going to last for a long time. So, oh wow, okay. How do you...
Is he going to ignore the hounds?
Okay, he traded for 1 of those. So let's see, 13. It's so awkward because the other kill command is not going to activate. Now, Ragnaros is a dead draw too. Actually, I don't think Naiman wants to see that at all.
No, I think the game's just not going to go long enough for that to actually be relevant,
Yeah.
especially with all the 1/1s flying around on the board.
Alright, well...
I think he's probably just going to clear and just go for Dr. Boom. I think it's just pretty straightforward turn.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. So now Firebat is, this is the last turn, more or less, because there is Ragnaros in the hand. And, whoa! No.
Don't think it's at 6.
No.
No, it's not enough, is it?
6? No, it's not. No, that's just a beast thing, right? The beast requirement. It's awkward.
That 4-mana Haunted Creeper.
Well, I don't really see how this is going to work out.
No, I think his Firebat's just going to run through every possible play and combo, but
Yeah.
I don't think it'll take him too long to work out that it's...
I've watched all of Firebat's games, and it seems like Leo hasn't been pulling his weight.
No, definitely. I think we saw it once come out.
And it never won the game.
No.
It never won the
No,
game,
no,
basically,
definitely.
yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, there's actually nothing. I mean, obviously, Firebat doesn't know there's a rag in Naiman's hand, right? So, still think there's a chance. So, just needs to find the best way out of this situation, but we know he's pretty dead.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that... Is he just going to trade into the Dr. Boom?
That's not a winning play. So, like, even if there is no Ragnaros from Naiman's hand, I mean, you just waste so much damage on a creature that you're probably not gonna win. So, there you go. Naiman actually ties up the series with his mid-range hunter. He doesn't need to play that again. So, congrats to him. And he needs to choose from Paladin and Warlock now.
Yeah, I mean, you'll know what you know he's against Freeze Mage, and he's got the option of Face Hunter again from Firebat. I wouldn't be too surprised if he picks the Paladin, if I'm honest. Or it's a tough one. I think he's got the choice now whether he wants to fall back onto Paladin as his last deck and try and 2-0 with it, or whether he wants to fall back onto that Warlock. He might want to try and just sort of snipe a quick win with the Warlock and be confident that at worst he can 2-0 with the Paladin, but I think it's going to be a really tough decision.
Well, I mean, in Conquest, for when both players are down 2 decks, I usually go with the one that's stronger, like overall. Yeah. You want to keep the weak deck because just in case you win with the deck anyways, then you just have to go with the unfavored matchup anyways. So you might just get the first win. So Naiman for Paladin and I guess Handlock, right? Handlock doesn't do too well against Firebat's lineup, so I guess I guess I would go with the Paladin first.
Yeah, and even just the small decisions of just getting a win on the board and just even what that plays in terms of emotion and just sort of getting momentum.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Momentum is quite the thing in Hearthstone, really.
So we are going to see the Handlock come into play against the Freeze Mage.
Wow. That's quite interesting.
And Double Molten, Hellfire, Earthen Ring, Farseer. Pretty interesting opening hand.
Pretty bad opening hand, to be honest.
Yeah, interesting in the worst of ways.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Yeah, I don't see him keeping any of these. Against Freeze Mage, you really want the early board presence, so like Twilight Drakes and Giants.
Yeah, definitely. And Firebat started with Arcane Insect, Ice Barrier.
Oh my god, that's not a good hand.
No,
That's a terrible hand.
this is really...
It's basically very simple. Any deck that plays secrets, they don't want to see the secrets.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's it. And oh my god. Wow, Naiman can actually do the Innervate Yeti play. More or less.
Yeah. More or less as good as it's going to get with Handlock anyway.
Yeah. But then you also want to save the silence for when the Freeze Mage freezes your board, so that you get an extra hit. Like they expect that when they frost over your board and they have very low health with an ice block, that you're not going to trigger it, and then you use the silence for exactly that reason.
Yeah,
of course.
definitely. And when you've got the giants down, silencing a giant and a sudden 8 damage the Freeze Mage isn't expecting is pretty huge.
Right. I think that use is probably more efficient when you silence a frozen minion than silencing a Doomsayer. Right? Obviously, you silence a Doomsayer, but there's a lot of other ways you can deal with a Doomsayer, actually.
So I imagine he has got a few options. I mean, he can just Dart Bomb that if he wanted to, but he's just going to actually just tap and build up that card draw.
Yeah, that's the... oh, he's going to go into that bomb here. Alright. Just to deny some draws. This is definitely a very tough matchup for the Handlock, though.
Yeah, I think the... I mean, we've not seen any mad scientists yet, but if he had some, it could sort of backfire if he gets them a bit early, because we can see that 2 of the secrets are already in hand, like you said earlier. So, and there's double Flame Strike as well now, so he's got a lot he can deal with the board as the game goes on.
Oh my god, Anti-Killbot is very, very useful for later on. And, oh, nothing much to play, so just Ancient Watcher.
Do you think he's actually going to potentially use the Owl to just put some aggression
on the Ancient Watcher?
Yeah, on the Watcher.
I don't think so.
I think he's going to hold off.
You definitely need to do it for one of the 2 reasons that we talked about.
Yep.
Firebat time is really, really bad. Just going to cycle the Thalnos. And yeah, turn 5 Sludge Belcher seems pretty fine.
I mean, he's probably not too fussed about the Thalnos at this moment in time. He's just going to use it to cycle, like you said.
Well, for the Handlock, there's like 2 strategies, right? I mean, you missed out on the strategy, the first one, where you put Twilight Drakes and Giants at early turns. So now you kind of want to go for the maybe the healing thing. You have Anti-Killbot, you have Farseers, you have Lothep as well. And when you go to the late game, when you draw like Ragnaros or like big creatures, you can actually use those to like kind of seal the Freeze Mage options away.
Yeah, definitely. And with the Anti-Killbot already there, it's pretty nice to have that you've got the ability to do that instead of trying to tap into it maybe just to wait on it and see if it comes out and hope. But having it there's a lot of security. I think he's probably really going to want to see the Lotheb pretty soon, just so it's available. Yeah,
it's actually a very hard combination of cards for the Freeze Mage to have to actually deal 23 damage in like 2 turns. Like especially this early on, right? If you Alex draws it on turn 9, then your hand has to be very, very good to like push the rest. Usually it doesn't happen.
You can see Naiman's got a few options to him. I don't think the Moltons are going to do too much for quite a while yet.
Yeah, he didn't want to see them, but they came back anyways. Well,
2 Shadow Flames in hand as well. It's a bit strange because when do you actually even want to use them?
Yeah, it's a Freeze Mage. Yeah, that's kind of awkward.
Do you use them now? I mean, just to see if it's going to pull the second secret, because we know it won't. Oh, sorry. Yeah, he has played. He's played the Ice Barrier. Sorry, yeah, I thought it was the pulled Ice Block.
Yeah. Especially when your opponent plays a secret out of the hat and plays Mad Sciences, that's probably not going to happen. So you don't need to force anything. But yeah, seems like Naiman's just going to go ahead and do that anyways. Alright.
Just gonna get rid of half the Ice Barrier. Not too bad. And he's got. This is when we're going to probably start seeing the more of the control aspect come out of the Freeze Mage and start to just slow the game down a little bit and keep the minions in check. Now they're starting. The Ancient Watcher's not going to do much, obviously. The lack of the ability to attack is going to do that. But the Sludge Belcher and even the 2/3s, you're going to chip away.
Yeah, Firebat's basically counting how much damage he has right now. Obviously, this is a very juicy Flame Strike turn, but you just want to plan your moves ahead. Because Freeze Mage is basically a game of math, right?
Yeah.
Your opponent's always going to be at that health. You have X amount of damage. You do not have like infinite damage unless you have the Antonidas. So you're going to count.
Yeah, there's definitely a cap of the damage you can do unless you can, like you said, really pull out an Antonidas and push that a little bit further. But in most matches, there is only so much you can do.
Exactly.
And a lot of it is also quite difficult to juggle that sort of damage against a Warlock because the heal bots are in there and that in one turn that can just completely change.
Yeah, the Hoarder's pretty good. it's something, you know, to play.
It's a card that you can play.
Yeah, it is a card. Of course, setting up the Flame Strike turret, double owls, those are pretty useful. And still, no Twilight Drakes or Giants. Just none of those.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of he's got the Molten Giants that we said, you know, not going to do too much. Double Sun Fury, big game. He's got a lot of reactive cards that versus Freeze Mage just aren't really going to get any work done.
I mean, this hand usually isn't good against any classes anyways, so you just have to make something happen.
The heal bot's okay.
The heal bot is good in this matchup, but you know, you don't even need this right now. Because the thing with Handlocks is that they draw the whole deck sooner or later anyways. So it doesn't matter if you get like tech cards you need to use later right away. Right?
Yeah, it's just when he's got tech cards that pretty much going to do nothing is the problem he's going to run into.
But yeah, I mean, Naiman is doing a really good job of tapping in return, right? He wants to find those low thubs. He wants to find the Ragnaros, for example.
Yeah, he's actually going to choose to deny the card draw because I think it's one of the few options he actually had. But we do know that the Flame Strike is going to come and clear at the board, but he didn't really have too much else he could really do in that situation.
Right. Well, Firebat set himself up pretty well. I mean, he is at 38 health. He's going to Flame Strike the board. He's going to have a lot of time to actually find the burst he needs. Because anti-kill bot and Lothar obviously screws things up quite a bit.
Yeah, I think Naiman's really going to look for that Lothar now. He's probably wanting something to draw that's actually going to make a bit more of an impact on the game than his current board will have if he decides to Flame Strike.
Now, it's actually pretty interesting because you don't really have to Flame Strike this turn. You can just Frost Nova and Doomsayer, and if your opponent silences it again, then they're out of silences, and you can Flame Strike anyways the next turn. But he's just gonna do it anyways this turn.
Oh, there's a Drake.
Nope, not the fastest Drake in the world.
Although not too bad to see that it's come out after the Flame Strike. He's actually got something he can drop down and actually have a bit more of an impact on the game. And again, Hellfire's not going to do too much either, with a lack of minions on the Mage's side of the board.
Yeah, Naiman is playing pretty good. I like the way he's just tapping every single turn. Like, sometimes you're scared of going super low against the Freeze Mage because then they don't even need Alex Strasser to kill you. But, I mean, as long as you're, like, above 17, to be honest. I remember someone telling me 17, I don't know why, but that's like a magic number. It's totally fine.
Yeah, I can see that he's also not really... I don't think he's seen any Frostbolts or Fireballs, though, so that's something he must be conscious of, that there's been no like direct sort of burn removal used, so he's still going to be aware of that. But like I said, it is the right move. He does have to dig through the deck to get to the key cards like the Lothar that are actually going to sort of change the game for him.
Alright. Well, here's a Doomsayer. It's, oh! Okay. Well, what's better than one Doomsayer is two Doomsayers.
Yeah, we might actually see a Shadow Flame.
Shadow Flame could be... I mean, once again, like, when else are you going to use Shadow Flame, right?
Yeah, exactly. At least, you know, how often has a Freeze Mage actually got 3 minions on the board, never mind 2 Doomsayers?
Right. The other option is to silence one and kill the other, but... Yeah, maybe Shadow Flame is... It's just better.
Yeah, purely because the Ancient Watch is on 5 attack, and it's not going to be doing much at all this game, and Dr. Boom's pretty good, actually.
Oh, that's a pretty baller tap, actually. That is a pretty baller tap. So he's going to silence one of those and kill the other one.
Yeah, I think after the tap getting the second Drake, it's pretty straightforward. He didn't need to Shadow Flame if he didn't have to.
Yeah. So effectively, the Doomsayer was like a heal for 7, which is even more healing. Well, Pyroblast is drawn, so Firebat has like even more damage now. Just to count once again. Anti-heal bot and Lothar. Those are the cards you would need to, you know, take into account.
Yeah, and so he's probably got to decide how much he actually wants to pressure the Warlock, and if he's going to set up in terms of he's still not seeing the heal bots or the Lothar and the effect that the opponent's board has on those choices. Really probably quite a lot to think about. I mean, the Frostbite into Iceland is definitely going to put the pressure on.
Yep.
And all the fireballs.
Yeah, this one gives him the most damage, and it's quite interesting because he's just at a point where he's so high health. right? Usually it doesn't happen. Usually Freeze Mage is like, oh, they don't have a lot of health, so they have to go in and play Ice Block next turn. He's not even close to, Naiman's not even close to proccing Firebat's block here.
Yeah, definitely. That's, you know, lack of being able to put those mountain giants down early. I mean, he's just drawn one, but we've not even seen the usual sort of tactic of the Frost Novas, just the slowing down of the board, because it's not really needed to be stopped. I mean, the double Doomsayer slowed it down quite a lot, but having double Ice Barrier, like you said, he's not even really even worried about his health at the moment, whereas he's really piling the pressure on Naiman, and we can see that he's got. And even Naiman's aware that he's got the damage due to those 2 fireballs just spawned from the Antonidas.
Okay. Just, whoa. Oh. Okay, I guess he's gonna trade these Ooze away so that he has space for the anti-Q bot. Yeah, this is fine, I guess. But there's at least 2 fireballs in your opponent's hand. And that's not counting the regular fireballs and regular burns. This is looking pretty bad. And
yep.
wow, even the Blizzard to top that off. Like, wow. Is this where you wanna like Tekken Wailing Soul?
Yeah, it's a good point. If you that worried about Freeze Mage, it would definitely help, but I don't even think that would help him at this point.
Yeah, Firebat's just thinking right now, what can go wrong? You know,
Yeah,
what's
I'm
the worst that can
pretty
happen?
confident he's thinking nothing.
There may be drunk Kazan mistake, you know, weaves herself into this deck. You never know.
And there we go.
Yeah, there you go. Alright, well, yeah, like we expected, the Freeze Mage does need to have that. And Firebat just needs to win 1 game with his Face Hunter.
Yeah, I think that's very likely at this point. I mean, I can't. It's going to be real. There's going to be something crazy have to happen for Naiman to be able to pull out the wins against Face Hunter twice with these decks he's got. He's got the Paladin and the Warlock left, and I don't know. I think it's going to be a real uphill climb.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like Firebat's Face Hunter has actually been the deck that's like for him to hardest to get a match. His other 2 decks just win, and his Face Hunter, weirdly enough, might be his weakest deck.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you've seen the matchups and the 2 games he did win. He actually won quite convincingly.
Yeah.
But he sort of stumbled a little bit with the Face Hunter. But I think having 2 chances against Paladin and Warlock with it, you've just got to go with the odds. And I think that he almost certainly will pull out the win.
Yeah. Well, for Naiman, on the other hand, you know, since you have to win both anyways, you might as well just get the momentum lead. So you pick the you just pick the class you feel more confident against the hunter. So yeah, it's actually quite close, I guess.
Yep.
Because it just relies on the draws at early on, right? I mean, Warlock, you just want everything that's cost 1 to 2, right? Just those kind of hands. And Paladin, you just need to find the muster.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we actually saw any zombie childs. I don't know if he plays that in his Warlock. I don't remember seeing.
If there are no zombie childs, the matchup is it's even worse for Naiman.
Yeah,
so,
definitely. Well, yeah. I mean, like you said, this completely probably based on a comfort pick more than anything for the first game, just to get that one ahead. And we're actually going to go straight in now.
Yep, definitely.
So it is the Warlock.
Okay. And not the not the best hand. I mean, Hellfire. You think that you know, going against Face Hunter is really good because you just cleared the board. Well, you're damaging yourself as well.
Yeah, and again,
So,
you know, the hero power is just going to chip away.
Yeah, Molten's good.
The Molten's good, yeah, because you know you're going to die pretty quick.
Yeah.
And looking at Firebat's hand, he's got pretty good start. I mean, the Unleash is sort of 50-50, we'll see, but getting the Worgen, Mad Scientist, Juggler, Glaive Zuka, I mean, it's probably one of the best starts he could want.
Yeah, Worgen Infiltrator is one of the... It's actually interesting. It's one of the newer cards to come into Face Hunter, right? We didn't see this like in a month ago. And people started putting this because it's like super non-interactable. And if a minion's not interactable and it's just gonna hit anyways, then it's like guaranteed 2 damage. So it's like the second Leopard Gnome, if in any case.
Yeah.
And we want to play more Leopard Gnomes if you're playing aggressive decks.
Yeah, and anything to just put damage to that face. But the okay, so the Earthen Ring Farsi is actually pretty decent. Put a body on the board and just sort of reduce the damage a little bit, and he does draw back that Hellfire.
Draw back the Hellfire. Oh jeez. I mean, yeah, it's one of those double-edged swords where you're stabbing yourself twice. That's not the double-edged sword you kind of want.
Yeah, the weapon's actually going to be really good. So I can see him actually. I mean, he's got the it's the choice between probably just play the bow and actually clear the 3/3 just to keep your minions safe. And the longer they stay on the board uncontested with no taunts, the more value you're getting out of them.
Yeah, you definitely do clear early on, especially like turn 3, turn 4. You just want to basically milk as much value out of your existing minions as possible.
Yeah, definitely. And there's not much you can.
Oh, is this a sad Hellfire turn? No, it's not sad Hellfire turn. Oh, whoa! Okay. That's one of the key cards in this matchup. I'm not really sure if you should use it now, because, you know, otherwise, both giants kind of like doing nothing, just sitting duck.
Yeah, definitely. Pretty interesting that he's chosen to tap, because in this matchup, you obviously don't really want to tap unless you really have to. But other than that, like you said, it was either a Hellfire anyway, or Dark Bombing one of the minions, which doesn't really do too much as well. So. Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, judging from his hand, he definitely wants to tap because he doesn't have any 5-drops. He wants to see Belcher, he wants to see anti-Killbot, you know, maybe even more Moltens and more Taunters. So he just needs more options, really.
And the Iron Beak Owl actually coming out, so Firebat's actually got an answer to anything he chooses to taunt up, and he can just ignore it, just play the Owl and just pile straight through. So, I mean, we're looking at potentially Knife Juggler, Mad Scientist, just to get them on the board, but it's a tough one to decide whether you want to save the Juggler and Unleash combo, but you weigh up, is the Warlock actually going to build up that much of a board?
Right. Well, I mean, some of the times you just mostly want to weave in as much damage as you want, right? And Knife Juggler right now doesn't do too much damage. Yeah. I mean, it might do 0 damage, and if you're a Face Hunter, you do 0 damage, it's not really good. So yeah. Oh, Belcher's, that's a pretty good top deck. But we do see the silence on Firebat's hand, and that's really, really key.
Yeah, and it is a snake trap that Firebat's actually got as well, so it's an interesting one, because it's actually going to, as the Warlock, you do want to try and just slow the board down, of course, by destroying the minions, and it's just going to increase it more, and it actually gives him a way to play the Knife Juggler with a bit more, actually get something out of it, hopefully the turn it's played, well, the turn after it's played on their opponent's side.
Yeah, sure. Well, it's actually quite scary for Firebat now, to be honest. Because next turn he's looking at a Molten Giant plus taunts.
Yeah, and the Owl's already gone, so...
Ooh, he really doesn't... He's really thinking about this. Because right now, one Molten Giant is fine. You get crushed by double Molten Giant and taunt. You just get crushed. But, well, Firebat's a very aggressive player. He just wants to go in.
Yeah, he's even going to drop the Wolf Rider.
Yeah, even... Yeah,
just go everything. That's the thing as well, is if you're going to make the decision to go, you've got to go with everything. And it's sort of one way or the other. You either hold back and sort of reduce the chance of the Molten Giant, or you just go straight for the win.
Well, alright, well, with Firebat's move to just, you know, use everything here, then Naiman's in a position where, well, sure, you can put out all the taunts you can in the world, but you're dying pretty much in 4 turns.
Yep.
You're dying faster with a kill command. So...
It's looking a little bit rough, I think.
It's not looking the most... Because the thing is, like, Naiman might even trade with one of the minions, right? And taunt up the Giant and the Watcher instead. So that, you know, you're paying health on the Belcher, so it doesn't really matter. But if he does that, he actually... didn't attack at the Belcher at all, because it spawns just 3 1/1s. So killing a 3/1 and spawning 3 1/1s is effectively gain nothing.
Yep. He's got a lot to think about, as he knows that if he drops this game, this is the set gone, and he's actually knocked out of the tournament. So definitely going to take his time over it, but can't actually see too many good options.
Oh man, Hellfire seems pretty gross too. Like I can not see it. Whoa.
Is he going to be that confident?
Okay, alright, well, there you go. That's really ballsy. Okay. Well, I guess he realizes that if it is a freezing trap, then he's dead anyways.
Yeah, yeah.
Alright, well, is this lethal, right? I mean, you got juggles to the face and you win.
Not guaranteed lethal, but...
you just have to trust.
I think you definitely do it. The odds on it happening.
Anytime you see a possible lethal, you just do it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if you don't believe, then, you know, Hearthstone's not gonna reward you. And this knife is gonna go... that's any taunters are good too. Oh! And... Oh, that's okay. That's good. Oh! Oh! So
Not too bad at all.
man. It's like a horror movie, man. Like this knife juggler is like throwing knives at you all the time.
Yeah, hit the first time, sort of tease the second, and then there we go again. So
you know what's even more scary is there's a snake. So
yep.
even if well, actually, I guess Naiman is gonna use Siphon Soul. That's really the only choice.
Yep.
I don't see another choice in that.
Is he just gonna hit? Is he that confident? I suppose on one health in this position you might well be.
Well, okay. Firebat's hitting this just so if he top-decks a bow, then he can use Wolf Rider and bow and push for a little bit more damage. But no, he's gonna save it. He feels like he doesn't really need it. And I guess Siphon Soul is really the only option here. You cannot attack the Hound. So, oh my god.
What's he gonna track?
He's gonna track it. Oh! Wait! No! Oh wait, 2, 1. Oh yeah, that's it. That's good. The most giant is at 5 pump. So yeah, that's why tracking is good.
It's pretty okay. The only thing is when the cards are across the screen, it's actually difficult to then remember what the board was. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. Forgot about that. All right. Well, Firebat takes it very convincingly. 3-1. He's gonna move on to the grand finals.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the favoured player definitely. But yeah, I think the overall matchups were just pretty rough for Naiman. We said that at the start that Firebat's build of his classes were just maybe not direct counter, but pretty close. I mean, it was really going to be difficult for Naiman to pull the win out there, and the strength of the Mage and the Rogue as well in the specific matchups he drew were really good.
Yeah, the matchups were definitely better than some of Firebat's matchups before. It seems like, once again, his Face Hunter seems to be like the odd one out. But yeah, he got a win. Those were the exact matchups he wanted to see. And Naiman's going to, exit with 3rd place, I guess?
I'm not sure.
3rd to 4th place.
Yeah, 3rd,
basically.
4th,
3rd, 4th place, yeah. So, pretty good run for him as well.
Yeah, a really good run, definitely. And I think it's one of his, don't know if it's one of his first
well, he's definitely a very accomplished player, especially in the Asia server. So it's good to see him actually in the live tournament.
Yeah.
And doing pretty well.
Yeah, definitely. And I think in this format, again, if you sort of pick your matchups and you're happy with them, but then someone just happens to come in with almost a full counter, it's going to be really difficult. But
no, I know that feeling.
So yeah, it did really well there. There's not even many things I don't think Naiman particularly misplayed. It was just rough games overall. Yeah. So the Firebat's gonna go into the finals.
Yeah, and it's gonna play against the winner of Solo versus Zosus.
Yeah, so that'll be coming up soon. I think that's gonna be really interesting. 2 players that are relatively quiet or unknown in the overall scene, but they've done really well. I mean, Sottle beating Faramir. It was an upset, and Zosus beating Naira. Again, it's going to be a good match, and then they're going to have to face the world champion in the finals. It's a pretty big game for either one of those players.
Very awesome, very awesome. And yeah, we'll finish all the matches today, so we'll crown a champion today as well. Yeah, we'll be seeing the games.
Yeah, definitely. So and yeah, we're just going to go to a break while we just set up the next game. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you soon.